12 months ago, I walked away from my 9 to 5 job with no roadmap, no investors, and no fancy tech background. Really just a desire to work for myself, do meaningful work, and build something that actually matters. Fast forward to today, I run a thriving AI automation agency where we are doing roughly $20,000 a month in revenue. I have built a paid community with over 100 members who are learning and building their own AI agents and selling to other companies. We have a free community with thousands of entrepreneurs and builders. And my YouTube channel has grown to over 20,000 subscribers. And this is just the beginning because we are on track to do over $100,000 per month by the end of Q4 just by productizing our services and really just doubling down on what's working. But none of this happened overnight, as you can imagine. So in this video, I am going to be breaking down exactly what I learned this past year, the wins, the hard lessons, and the exact steps that I would follow if I were starting from scratch today. And I mean, this isn't just a highlight reel, I promise. It is an actual playbook. So if you are interested in getting the lessons from the past 12 months, then make sure to stick around. First, I would just like to go over that you do not need a perfect plan. You just need to get started. And when I quit my job, I did not have a perfect business plan or a big vision board, go figure, right? And I just had this one belief that this is a golden opportunity and I probably will not get another one like this. I mean, it's going to sound so cliche, so corny because everybody's saying it right now. There may not be another opportunity. Like we've seen the marketing space, SMMA, and now it's this AI automation space. This is the next big thing. And now is the time to get in it. For me, I just said that I'm going to figure things out as I went. And I mean, to be completely honest, like I did not know what I was doing at the start. When I'm telling you, I focused on the wrong things. I focused on literally everything wrong. I spent too much time messing with my landing pages, just overthinking pricing or just trying to look professional instead of, just solving real problems. And one of the most helpful things that I actually did early on was joining a community and just communicating and networking with other people. This was by far the thing that spiraled my success. And I mean, this wasn't because I just needed some step-by-step instructions. It was more so because I was just around some other people who were doing this. I was around other builders, and this ultimately just kept me grounded. It helped me stay on track by connecting with people who were going through the same things and just seeing what was working for others. It gave me direction. And I literally just mimicked what successful people were doing in that community until I just started to get these results, which, I'll tell you right now, it did take a while to see success. And I mean, conveniently enough, we do have a free school community with thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs, all of which are interested in building and learning with AI. They're all at different stages. So I highly recommend that you check that out, network with other people, and of course, check out the courses to see some of the templates and different videos that we do have to offer. Anyway, getting back into the video. Now, in the early months, it wasn't about getting everything right. It was just about, getting experience with real clients and building momentum. So I started focusing on small wins, like getting on calls with people, just usually offering to work for free. And I'm telling you right now, doing work for free is one of the best things that you can do at the start because it's just a fantastic way that you can pitch people to, do work for them in return for testimonials, which is arguably the most important thing that you can get at the start. So if you approach someone and say like, hey, I'm a student or a recent college grad, and I mean, this doesn't have to be completely true as long as it's somewhat aligning with, I just launched a business looking to help people like you save time and drive revenue. And I promise this isn't a pitch. I'm literally just interested in learning what would help you the most. And I'm happy to even work for free in the event that, we find that it's a fit working together. And you will find that the people who do actually open the messages, they're going to be a lot more receptive, especially if you don't have any track record at the beginning, which, you probably won't have any social proof. So I highly recommend this. This is what I did at the beginning. And from there, either they're going to just say yes and you get an opportunity to work for them and build a relationship, or they're going to say no and you're still validating real problems in that industry that you can just go solve for other people in that niche. And of course, I mean, it takes a bit of critical thinking to just figure out the right solutions, once you find the problems and you identify validated issues. But I would argue that that is the easier part. And I mean, speaking of solving real problems, like that was a huge early lesson for me. At the beginning, I just wasted so much time building like things that I thought were cool and, just interesting because the space was brand new. I mean, ultimately, nobody wanted this shit. I thought that if it was complicated or technical, it must be valuable in some regard. And I was completely wrong about this. Clients don't give a shit about how fancy something is. They care if you can solve their pain point. And I mean, this breakthrough, it came when I started asking simple questions like, what's the biggest headache in your business right now? And one of my first real wins just came from automating appointment reminders, which, I mean, yeah, it's not glamorous, especially looking back at it now, but it cut a client's no-show rate by 40% and it saved them thousands. It was a simple thing and I got, just a quick result from it. And that's really just when it was clicking for me that you want to solve pain points and you don't want to just be building for clout, more or less. But if you are stuck in this planning mode, please just get out of it, do everything that you can. So really you want to find those pain points. You can only steer a moving car, not one that's going to be parked in the driveway. So as cliche, as corny as that sound, it's so true. Just remember that value is created where pain is alleviated. In any case, let's move on to the next lesson. And this is all about clarity. When you are new to this space, it is pretty easy to try and sound impressive. You can use all the buzzwords and explain everything that your system does, throw in AI or other, jargon, whatever, automation. You can say it as much as you want. And it's so easy because you can just go to ChatGPT, say like, write up this copy for me, create this post, write this script for me. But I mean, that's exactly what confuses these clients. So I used to pitch everything I knew how to do, just rattling off ideas. Like I literally would say like, I have built a chatbot that connects to your website. And honestly, no one understood a single word of it. Even now, all this technology, it's so new, but even back then it was even newer and nobody understood anything. And I mean, neither did I fully at the time. So it really wasn't until that I started simplifying everything, just stripping down my offer to just the problem, the solution, and the results. That's when people were actually resonating with what I started to offer. So what I had done is I picked a real problem that my niche had, and I found this literally just messaging people on LinkedIn. Once I found something that was just relatively valid, I just learned to make.com inside and out. I built one simple solution around this pain point, and then I just pitched it. So I mean, instead of saying something like an AI integrated CRM automation, which was relatively similar to the first solutions that I started actually building out, I was just saying like, we'll make sure that every lead gets a personalized follow-up within 30 seconds without you lifting a finger. So that shift from, this complexity to clarity was one of the biggest reasons that I actually started closing more deals or any deals at all. So if you do need help learning how to simplify things, just getting clear about all your stuff, you could use ChatGPT, you go on LinkedIn, but there's a bunch of videos on my channel showing you exactly how to do this. Please go check those out. I have a whole plethora. I mean, I love doing this stuff and sharing all of this stuff with you guys, all my lessons and what's working well for me. But in any case, let's move on to the third lesson, which is just going to be sales is a skill, not a personality trait. So of course, this is one of, arguably one of the more important things because, if you're going to be building this shit, you have to actually know how to sell it. So I used to think that great salespeople, they were just naturally charismatic, that you had to have some slick, smooth, or, crazy gift or gab. Like what I learned quickly and what hundreds of sales calls have taught me, it's about 200 sales calls that I've taken now. And what I've learned is that sales is literally just like any other skill out there. And it's way more about listening than it is talking. Now, one of my earliest breakthrough moments, it was when a prospect was asking me, and you probably have experienced this yourself, why should we work with you instead of a bigger agency? And all I said was, I care more about solving this for you than anyone else you will ever talk to. And I'm genuinely interested in your success because if you are going to win, I'm going to win as well. And that authenticity, it just landed the deal right there. And it showed me that people aren't buying your technology or fancy automation. They just want to trust that you can fix their problem. That is what they are buying. And if you want to get good at sales calls, just record every single one. This is where you're going to just want to spend 80% of the call, just asking questions. You'll always want to tie your solutions back to their pain points in some sort of simple language. So this is a skill that you build by doing, not a personality trait that you're just inherently born with. I could say that a lot of people are born with being more charismatic, and that's definitely going to help you on these calls, but it is a skill just like anything else. Now, let's talk about getting to your first 10K and how it's all about reps. I cannot stress this enough. Your first $10,000, because that seems like the number that everyone shoots for when starting an agency. It's not just about branding, logos, funnels, or even websites. It's just about getting reps. So doing the simple, sometimes boring work every single day until the skills just start to stack up. I picked a few industries just like real estate, solar, and digital marketing agencies, and I just messaged as many business owners on LinkedIn as I could. So what I did is I just bought Sales Navigator. It was pretty expensive at the time for me, but there are ways to get it cheaper. You could find posts about that in my school community. If you are interested, just search LinkedIn Sales Navigator when you join my community. And every day within LinkedIn, I'm telling you, when I sent out as many connection requests, I sent out as much as I could and told me that I couldn't anymore. Is as soon as they was accepted, I would just DM them with my pitch. And what I had done from there is just took on projects at either completely free or super cheap at first to just build out these case studies and just kept on going. So each solution was a rep, and everything all of those reps, it just compounded over time. And eventually I went from doing a few $100 projects to just closing $1,000 retainers because I actually had that experience and the results to back everything up when I was going on these calls and just dealing with these business owners. So if you are lost on what to offer, just pick a few niches and stick with them. I have some breakdowns on my channel just showing the real systems that you can literally copy to get started. But in any case, I'll dive into niches a little bit further later, but I want to get into building systems early, even if they are ugly. Now, one of the biggest lessons that I actually learned this year was to just start thinking in systems instead of treating every project like something that's going to be one-off. I started templatizing everything that I did, how I onboarded clients, how I built automations, how I communicated updates, and even collected feedback, even just simple Google Docs and all these different templates. It helped me move 5 times faster than if I was just reinventing the wheel each time. So, it doesn't need to be fancy when you start out. It just needs to be repeatable. So creating those SOPs. Now, if you do build these templates and workflows early, even the rough ones, you will be able to grow faster without, drowning in delivery later. So like for us, we built out this entire Omni sales agent. And now that we built it out the first time, we can just, it's not necessarily copy and paste between these different agencies and different companies that we are implement them into, because there are different things that we have to build out. Like we have to change up the prompts, all this stuff, but a lot of it is templatized that we can just take from one company, put it into the next one and the next one, and just keep spiraling that out. Do things like this, your onboarding process, this should be automated. Your delivery, it should have a set checklist. Your filming process should be broken down by steps and responsibilities. Also, you will want to think just entirely within systems beyond this. If you map out your entire acquisition process, you'll want to, you can identify, you have inputs, you have processes, and then you have outputs maybe. So from here, you could find the bottleneck. And the sooner that you start thinking in systems, faster that you are going to be able to scale. So that might sound a little bit confusing, but ultimately what I'm trying to get at is you just want to make sure that you're templatizing everything as much as possible and just thinking in systems overall. So let's just get into the next lesson, which is going to be that content creates opportunity. So this is just building in public. And this is one of the best decisions that I have ever made without even realizing it. So this is just documenting my journey publicly. And at first it was just me posting what I was learning on YouTube, just sharing what I was building, and it definitely wasn't polished at all. It actually sucked. So over time, those videos, they built trust with the clients that I've worked with, or now clients, but leads at the time. It also attracted opportunities that I never would have gotten otherwise, most likely. And it also helped me grow my free and paid communities that now feed my business daily. So you don't need crazy production. I'm telling you that right now. Even as I'm recording this video, I have a studio light, I have a decent microphone, I have a DSLR that's not crazy expensive, and yeah, that's about it. So what you need to do is just show up and document what you are learning, what you are building, and what's actually working for you. So people, of course, are drawn to experts, but also action takers. And honestly, personal branding is becoming one of the few real moats that you can have anymore, where AI can just create anything in seconds. So, my channel, it grew to 20,000 subscribers by simply just sharing the journey. And I truly believe that you can do the same. And all I've done is just record videos that I think business owners, AI entrepreneurs would find, useful. That being said, let's just go into the next lesson, which is there's no work-life balance, but there is work-life integration. What I actually mean by this is that people are just always asking me about work-life balance, but honestly, I don't believe in the traditional version really anymore. And that whole idea of work on one side and, life on the other, like two weights on a scale, they don't apply when you're building something that genuinely matters to you. I thought that I needed to balance everything at first, but I just realized quickly that when you actually care about what you're building and you enjoy what you're doing, the line between work and life, it's just a blur. And that's a good thing, because for me, work-life balance has evolved into work-life integration. And I work 10 to 12 hours every single day, and it doesn't feel like I'm going to burn out because I'm solving problems, I'm helping clients, I'm growing a company that gives me freedom, and I love literally everything about it. So I could take midday breaks whenever I want. I can not work a day whenever I want, but I haven't done that yet unless I've really had to, being sick and all that. I come up with ideas on walks that I take whenever I want, and it's all exciting, and the work supports my life, not competes with it. And so I'm not saying to hustle nonstop. Maybe, but I am saying that if you want something that most people don't have, you will need to do something that most people won't. So sometimes that just takes working 12 hours for an entire year or for just a few months. I mean, depends with everybody. Yeah, I mean, for me in particular, like I've just learned to love this stuff. I mean, it's been the most rewarding thing ever. And I mean, I wouldn't take it back for anything at all. Yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents on that. But in any case, let's go to the next section. Just keep showing up. Your confidence will snowball. This is something that I experience all the time. So I mean, like when I started, I second guessed everything. Like, was I good enough or am I good enough? Is anyone going to take me seriously? So I mean, that self-doubt, like it never truly goes away, at least completely. But what I realized is that confidence is something that you earn. It's through action, not something that you wait for. So you build confidence by doing things, go figure, right? But I mean, like getting on more calls and closing more deals and making more videos, sending more pitches, whatever. I mean, in the beginning, I literally felt like an imposter. So I quite literally had imposter syndrome. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I just kept showing up. And I mean, this was a huge thing with communicating with other people who are in the same position. So in any case, like I just kept showing up and each small win just stacked on top of the last. And eventually you trust yourself to figure it out at a certain point. So even if you don't know exactly how to do things at the start, it doesn't matter. That trust is just everything. If you trust in yourself. So if you're waiting to feel ready for something, I promise you'll just be waiting forever. So like readiness just comes after that you take action, not any time before. All right, well, if I had to start completely over from zero, here's exactly what I would do. I would pick just one or two niches where I could just actually talk to people and understand their real pain points. And then I'll just DM 50 to 100 people every single day, honestly, as much as I could, because there are limits on LinkedIn. And I would ask genuine questions about their biggest headaches. Just be genuinely curious about their business and be willing to learn and understand their operation for free without expecting anything in return. This is what you actually have to do. Things like this at the beginning, if you don't have social proof, you will have to work for free. At the most, you could probably charge a few $100s, or if you're lucky, you could get away with charging a few thousand. It really depends. But I would also learn things like make.com and N8N just inside out so that I could actually start building these solutions and understanding the things that are capable of being built. If you learn of an industry's pain points, you want to have an understanding if it's even possible to solve that pain point. Next up, I would just start building simple systems around the pain points, like a lead follow-up flow. And from there, just offer it for free or for cheap to just a few people just to get my first wins. Then I would document everything, screenshots, lessons, demos, post it on LinkedIn. From there, you could package all this stuff into a simple productized service with a clear result and a pitch it over and over. If you get one win, take those results, reach out to a similar ICP, say like, hey, I helped this guy solve this problem. We can do the same for you for this price. Like, you want to still keep going cheap, fortunately at the beginning, but just keep doing this over and over. Stack those small wins, stack those reps. Then from there, you could double down on whatever's actually working for you. If you follow that playbook, there's literally no reason that you cannot hit $10,000 in, let's say, 90 to 120 days. I've done it. I've helped others do it. And everything that I know is laid out across the free content on my channel. If you want even more support, templates, breakdowns, and even help, check out my communities. Links are down below in the description. But thank you guys for watching. If you're serious about building your own AI agency or any service business, then please subscribe, like, comment, and dig into the channel. But in any case, I thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video.